Well guys, here's what's going on here. Okay, these three here that are spaced apart are some 140 AccuBond hand loads with Stay-Ball 6.5. These three are the same load, okay? And then those three that are, what, less than half MOA, those are some factory loads. So here's the deal with this. Those 140 AccuBond hand loads, Stay-Ball 6.5, I'm getting almost 29-30 average velocity, okay? The groups are no good, the velocity's incredible for 140s in the 708. That little tiny group is a Hornady factory load, 139 American whitetail, but the velocities are 200 feet per second below the box. The box is saying 2840. I'm getting like 2660. So we've got one of two things going on here with this. We've either got the rifle I'm using doesn't like 140s pushed, it's happy with them slow, or it doesn't like Stay-Ball 6.5. And I'm gonna go with the latter because we've had the Stay-Ball 6.5 accuracy fight this whole project, Little 7. We can get great velocities, but repeatability is awful. And you know, we've done it enough that we know it's not just me, it's across all bullet weights pretty much. We may have one exception. So here's the thing I'm thinking is, if you've got a 708 and you really want to chase velocity, run some Stay-Ball 6.5. You may get a rifle that loves it. A guy that works at a shop that I go to occasionally, he was getting this almost 3,000 feet per second with 140s with Stay-Ball 6.5. I think that's the only powder you're going to get that accomplished with. And he was sub MOA, so his combo liked it. My combo doesn't, but that's my advice to you guys, is if you're really wanting to run velocity in your 708, try some Stay-Ball 6.5 and see if your outfit likes it. All right, guys, let's run a few more tests here. Guys, I just wanted you to see the 140 AccuBond with Stay-Ball 6.5 summary of a 6-shot session there. And that max one at pushing 2950, that's interesting because I cooked that one in the chamber a little bit. There was a long distance between the second and third shot of that group, and it just sat there and cooked and heated everything up. So that's why it jumped up a little bit. But it's amazing, right, to see almost a 300 foot per second difference between the factory 140s and the hand-loaded 140s. And I think it's crazy that Hornady's 200 feet per second low with what they're advertising on the box, but we've had that conversation. We won't digress. Let's do something different here. All right, guys, these are the 150 Nosler combined technology silver ballistic tips. Okay, we're easily breaking 2800, which was our goal. Now, if you remember our last range session, which I know was like 4 months ago, this is what we were doing. We were running these 150s, and we were running Stay-Ball 6.5, which is what it is today, to get those velocities. That's what you're gonna have to run. And we had a couple groups that we said, gosh, they were close, right? We'd get two real tight and one would fade away and ruin it. And I was like, we need to pursue that some more. And I think a couple of you commented, yeah, that's worth chasing a little more. So that's what we're doing here today. Now that we've kind of fiddled with those 140s, we're looking at these 150s again. Velocities are good. There's no pressure signs there either. I feel like I could go easily another half grain. We could maybe hit 2900 with these 150s. But let's see what happened up here. That's what matters, right? Can we get this thing down under an inch? I know we're chasing that 3/4 inch, but gosh, at this point I might be happy if we could get this thing under an inch. So let's see what happens, and we'll know the next step. Well, I'll be darned. The old dog may have got a bone, and or lucky. Well, that's promising, and you know, well, this would be my luck, right? After all this little 7 testing, we've got a load that is exceeding velocity goal by a lot. We've got well, that's 1/2 inch probably, and they're a bullet that's out of production. I think one of you guys was telling me they're no longer making this combined technology ballistic silver tip. I don't know if that's just in the 7mm or all, but I'm down to just, you know, maybe 15 or 20 of those bullets. So that would be my luck. But hey, that was pretty cool group. And I guess the key is, can we do it again, right? And prove that it wasn't just luck. So we'll see, we'll try. I've got 6 more of them. Wind's kicking up a little, but we're gonna go for it. Hey guys, well, we're doing some barrel cooling. I guess kind of now my hunt plans for 2025 are maybe getting a little more clear. And it probably doesn't involve any rifle hunting. Didn't draw any controlled tags. General over-the-counter rifle tags are awful where I'm at, what I have access to. So I'm probably just going to bow hunt elk, and I'd like to go bow hunt late season in Oregon with my great hunting partner, and that's an over-the-counter archery tag over there in Oregon, even for non-residents. So yeah, I don't know, rifle wise it's looking lean. I'm going to in fact, if we're going to wrap up this project little 7, I'm probably just kind of hunkering down with all the rifles and just focused on archery, which I do a ton of that. Most of my spare time these last few months has been archery focused. My son and I are just huge into it. We shoot like crazy. So anyway, it's kind of a quick update while we're barrel cooling. We'll send some more of these 150s and see if we can repeat a decent group. There's the stats with now 6 shots of the 150 combined technology silver tip. Well, I can't tell through the scope. I don't think these were that sweet little 1/2 inch group, but I think there might be a couple that look really good, and that third one, maybe that's me, guys. I can tell, I really can tell this last year or so, the fine motor skills, eyesight, all of it tied together, starting to fade, you know. Still get the job done, but have to work a lot harder at it. This comes with the territory. All right, enough yakking, let's see what's going on. You know what, guys, I'm gonna say there's 2 in 1 hole right there, and that was the 3rd, and I felt that 3rd one go. That is awesome. So that is pretty cool. I think I'm very comfortable saying that's the best load we found, and in this case Stayball 6.5 is agreeable with this rifle and that bullet, and voila, we have a winner. Now we also had a great load with 160s. I think we had a 160 ballistic tip. And that was not Stayball 6.5, I'm pretty sure. We'll go back and do a summary, guys. But, you know, if I was to hunt with 708 with this rifle, obviously what I've come up with so far, I'm going to use this 150 ballistic tip, which would be a great bullet at those velocities on big game, elk or deer. Cup and core, it'd perform really well. Or this 160 ballistic tip. Those would both be my choice for the 708 that I've worked up. And I think with that 160, we were breaking 2,700, which would be amazing. That would be amazing as a hunting load. So, you know, to be honest, guys, I think I'm probably gonna say this is a wrap on Project Little 7. Time commitments and just my interest in it are kind of, I think, worth wrapping it up. I will, here at the very end of this video, do a summary of kind of findings and I guess where I would go with this if I were going to hunt with it, which I don't think I'll do. As far as hunting, I think I've always wanted to take a 708 to ground and learn it, and I think this has allowed me to do that where, you know, I think I said this in an earlier video, where I'm already so into 308, and I have been for 40 some years, and have everything, components, rifles. The 708 doesn't bring me anything different than the 308. And then vice versa. If you are already into 708, 308's not going to really bring you anything different. Okay, they're both ideal big game cartridges at medium ranges, 300, 350, 400 on the outside, and they bring all you need for elk, deer, black bear. I'd hunt moose all day long with these cartridges at reasonable distances with the right bullets, combination of bullet and velocity, impact velocity. So, you know, I've got, you know, I'm fond of the 708. It's an efficient cartridge. It's a sweet little cartridge. It's just not something I'm going to invest in or spend more time with. In fact, I'll try to find a buyer for this Vanguard and my dies and all my brass. I actually have 150 virgin brass, 50 Starline, and 100 Peterson. So hopefully somebody will be interested in that. But I never did explore the 120s. I have no doubt we could easily break 3,000, maybe 3,100. And maybe with some different powders too. We probably wouldn't just have to run the Stayball to get those better velocities. We sure did with the heavier bullets though. Without Stayball 6.5, the 708 is, you know, not a velocity king, which we know. Neither is the 308, right? They're similar that way. It is impressive to me to see what can happen with Stayball 6.5. I'm watching this rabbit over here. If you see me looking over here to my left, there's a little rabbit hopping around I'm watching. So like I said, there's some magic here. This guy I know that's running 140s over 3,000 sub MOA. I've got 150s at 2850 sub MOA here. That's really impressive, and I think that would be worth pursuing if you're a 708 person. So guys, I'll tag on here at the end a little summary from my desktop of the different combos we tried and outcomes, and then we'll move on. You know, who knows what's next. My plans for the next few months, probably not going to dive into any other projects. 270, 358 Winchester was something folks were interested in. I don't know. I don't know that I have the time right now to do those the way I'd want to do them and to provide you guys with good content. I don't think I have the time, so I don't want to jump into something kind of half-baked. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. I'll roll up some data here, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. All right, guys, let's put a bow on this project little 7. So in this first table, I'm comparing actual outcomes to the goal, and up here is velocity. So you can see across here we have the different bullet weights that we were using. You can see the goal we were shooting for muzzle velocity, and then you can see what actually we achieved. And then how much as a percentage, what was our variance of actual versus goal. So on the 175s, we were 1.4% below goal. The 160s, we just barely got there. The 150s, we were 1.8% above goal, and the 140s, we were 1.7% above. I think it's interesting to just note, right, 1.8% on 2,800 is, the percentage seems small, but we were beating those goals pretty good with the 150s and 140s. So that's kind of interesting. Now, what this doesn't reflect is, did we also, when we hit those velocities, did we achieve our accuracy goal at the same time? And we have a mixed bag on that, and we'll talk about that here. So accuracy on the 175s, we did beat our goal by 6%, but we didn't get our velocity goal. We missed that. So you could say that the 175s, we never met both goals for sure. We were slightly off on velocity. On the 160s, we did meet velocity, we did meet accuracy. We were 500 short on group size, so didn't achieve both there. The 150s is the place that we achieved both. We had a half-inch group. It was in this video, and we did meet our velocity goals, so that's pretty cool. And in the 140s, we did hit that velocity goal, but we were way off on the accuracy. We were double the size of group we want, so 100% off over there in the lower right. And then here I showed how many the number of loads tested for each bullet weight. And the reason it's disproportionately high for the 160s there is that was where I was discovering the situation with stay ball 6.5. I was just so caught up in chasing velocity that I tried so many different times to get accuracy with the stay ball 6.5, and I just couldn't do it. So I kind of went down that rabbit hole with the 160s, kind of caught myself, stopped, and that's kind of when I did a reset. In fact, I was looking at my notes, and I think I talked about it in a video, a little bit of a reset there, and started using different powders and things like that. So now let's just take a look at the ballistics of 2 of the bullet weights, and I'll talk a little bit about how I think those are applicable in the field. So here we've got the 175, and I've also got the 150. And to make them, comparable, I set the what the come up in inches would be the same at 100 yards for both of them. So that made the zero distance a little further out for the 150s, but this way we're kind of trying to do apples to apples. So this 175 would be an amazing load out to about 300 yards. Okay, after that, it starts to drop off trajectory-wise, and if you're like me and you don't use BDC type reticles, you'd want to stop there around 300. But the energy out at 300 is more than adequate for any of the big game that I pursue, 1,500 foot-pounds, and 9.7 low at 300 is workable for holdover or knowing your animal and stuff like that. So that'd be tremendous load. And that was the 175 grain Hornady soft point interlock. It wasn't a boat tail. And then this 150, this is the combined technology ballistic silver tip. And you can see here that, it's a little bit flatter. It starts out faster. You've got solid energy out to 400, and your trajectory there for elk size targets, it'd be a cakewalk at 400. You could just hold on their back, and 18.8 low is just going to drive right into the vitals. But again, kind of confirming that out to 300, it'd be a sweet deer or elk, 5 inches low, still over 1,700 foot-pounds, there'd be nothing there to worry about. So I think that's it, guys. I think, you know, I definitely didn't take the 140s to ground like I normally would, just due to time constraints and everything that's going on. And I know we could have played with different powders and we could have got 140s under 3/4 MOA. I don't think we'd have hit 2,900 though. But that would be something, if I were going to keep going with this project, there's probably two things I would do. I'd play with 140s, different bullet types, maybe different bullet types with stay ball 6.5, and see if I could find that magic combo like I did with the 150s and stay ball. That would be pretty cool. The other thing that would be very interesting for me to do would be like a 24-inch barrel, to find a rifle with a 24-inch barrel. I think that'd be kind of fun to see if then you could use some other powders and still push these velocities a little bit. But I'm sure that'd be a similar outcome to 308. It's really diminishing returns. 7MOH is just an ideal light cartridge that you don't want to have some big 9 or 10 or 12 pound rifle. I don't think you want to have a lightweight rifle. It'd be a great, I know it's really popular for like sheep hunters and rugged terrain and stuff like that. I can see why this cartridge is really preferred for that type of hunting. So anyway, guys, yeah, been fun, been interesting. I've learned a lot and appreciate you guys coming along. Look forward to your comments on Project Little 7.